She was the wife of the richest man in the United States. Luxury, perfect surgeries, flawless implants, a life where nothing seemed out of place. Meanwhile, on the other side of town, her younger sister struggled every day to keep her ailing father alive, working to exhaustion in a public hospital. Two lives that began the same, but ended at opposite extremes. And then came the itch, first mild, then unbearable. Days turned into weeks. Blood, wounds, despair. She stopped combing her hair because she could no longer touch her own head. A month later, hiding the pain behind expensive makeup, she entered a hospital and came face to face with the past she had abandoned. What no one imagined was that something was growing there, something alive, and that reunion would not be merely emotional. It would be a matter of life or death. The press knew Victoria Hale like the perfect woman, always smiling beside Ethan Hale, a billionaire who dominated technology, media, and global influence. But nobody saw what happened off camera. The itching started subtly. A small, almost insignificant discomfort. Victoria ignored it. After all, her routine consisted of events, meetings, and public appearances. But within a few days, it became something uncontrollable. She scratched until it bled. At night, she couldn't sleep. In the morning, she hid it with makeup. Her scalp was red, inflamed, and starting to form scabs. It must just be allergies, she kept repeating. But it wasn't. After weeks, she simply gave up trying to comb her hair. Each strand she pulled felt like it was tearing chunks of skin from her face. An entire month without touching a comb, without telling anyone, without asking for help, until pain conquered pride. At the hospital, everything seemed normal. Until the past came back with full force. Emily Hale, your sister. The same one she left behind years before. The same woman who stayed to care for her sick father, while Victoria chose a life of luxury. Emily was there in a simple lab coat, her eyes tired, hands marked by work. When he saw Victoria, he froze. The tears came instantly. "You came back?" Victoria looked away. "I need assistance." Cold, direct, as if they were strangers. Emily tried to get closer, but she couldn't. The pain wasn't just medical, it was emotional. It was abandonment. But the hospital couldn't stop operating. Another nurse was called, and at that moment, someone heard everything. A nurse, silent, observing. She knew the story. I knew who Victoria was. She knew what she had done to her own sister. And he decided to act. Meanwhile, Emily couldn't ignore what she was feeling. "Even after everything, I still care about you." But Victoria replied coldly, "I don't want to be served by you." Those words broke something inside Emily. Minutes later, Victoria was taken for evaluation. When the doctor brushed away the matted hair, silence filled the room. The skin was raw and bleeding, and there was something strange, very strange, something that shouldn't be there, and that no one yet had the courage to say out loud. The initial diagnosis seemed simple, a severe scalp infection. But something didn't add up. The resident doctor frowned. "This is not just an infection." Victoria began to feel dizzy. The body grew weak. My heart raced. And then came the collapse. What nobody knew was that the nurse had switched the medication. On purpose. Wrong dose. Dangerous. Silent. Victoria began to convulse. The alarms went off. Chaos took over the room. "She's going into shock." "Call for help," Emily heard, and he ran. Even after everything, even after rejection, She ran. When he entered the room, he saw his sister on the verge of death. Without thinking twice, he took control. "Stop everything! This medication is wrong!" The doctors hesitated, but Emily insisted. "If they don't fix it now, she'll die." Seconds that felt like an eternity. The medication was discontinued. Emergency treatment initiated. And then, the monitor stabilized. Victoria was placed in an induced coma. The situation was critical, but she was alive. Because of the person she despised the most. Meanwhile, the truth was beginning to emerge. The nurse in charge was questioned, and it broke. She deserved it, after what she did to her sister. The hospital was in shock. That wasn't just medical malpractice. It was attempted murder. But the worst was yet to come. The tests revealed something alarming. The itch, the wounds, the bleeding. It wasn't just a lack of care. Scalp infections, when ignored, can progress rapidly. Poor hygiene, buildup of debris, fungi, and bacteria can cause serious lesions, deep infections, and even systemic risk. Never ignore persistent itching, sores, or pain. Seeking help early can save your life. The doctor returned with the results. She looked at Emily. He took a deep breath. Something's moving over there. Silence, terror. And it's a truth that no one was prepared to face. The surgery was performed immediately. Urgent. No room for error. Emily insisted on going along. "I'm not leaving here." When they opened up the affected area, the impossible was confirmed. Larvae, feeding on living tissue. An advanced infestation. Silent. Progressive. It's almost fatal. The doctor swallowed hard. A few more days, and she wouldn't have survived. The room fell silent. Even the most experienced professionals were shocked. The surgery lasted for hours, every minute, a race against time, but not the end. The movement stopped, the infection was contained, and life is saved. Days later, Victoria woke up, confused, weak, but long-lived. The first thing he saw, it was Emily, sitting beside the bed, tired, but present. The silence between them said it all, until Victoria broke down. "Why did you do this?" "After all," Emily replied, her eyes welling with tears, "because you're still my sister." And at that moment, all barriers have fallen. Victoria cried, for the first time in years, not because of physical pain, but out of remorse. In the following days, everything came to light. The nurse was arrested. The case gained national attention. But the focus was no longer on the scandal. It was the reconnection. Victoria made a decision. Everything changed. He helped Emily. He paid off his debts. He took his father for proper treatment. And, for the first time, it's family again. Wealth can buy appearances, but it doesn't cure neglect. And neglecting your own body can cost much more than money. It can cost your life. If a simple itch persists, don't ignore it. Sometimes danger lurks where no one expects it to. And it may be too late when you decide to look.